Now, on that score, I would want to move on to another sell side before I come to the buy side to conclude after hearing both sides of the coin. And Dr. Gondwe, let us hear what you think about cross-border banking. By the way, we are also in Zambia, and I know what it is to taste the Zambian soup too. So, Doc, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, as the saying goes, Africa is open for business, and investors are flocking to Africa. And these investors include cross-border banks. And for us, that is very useful because we have liberalized economies which believe in the private sector as the engine of growth. Now, the private sector, in our case, would mean the SMEs, potential entrepreneurs trying to venture into business. And these are important in driving our economies. Now, the cross-border banks bring in experience from where they're coming to where they're setting up businesses. And for us, our vision is to provide a globally accepted best practice in the regulation and supervision of cross-border banking, which would enable growth of the sector without threatening the financial sector stability. We think that then will be key to the confidence for the private sector to partner in whatever form to support cross-border banking. As regulators, of course, we are concerned with stability. Stability, not necessarily to threaten or stifle cross-border banking investments, but to provide further confidence to them, and also to the local market in which they are coming to do business, so that when they mobilize savings, there is that stability that continues to provide confidence in banks as vehicles for deposit taking, intermediation, and other areas that are required to grow the private sector. Both Mr. Diamond and Governor Mteviri have summarized the benefits of cross-border banking or just banking. So perhaps I may not need to get into these specifically, but you know, the cross-border banking, as I indicated, very key to us to grow the businesses. Key to grow financial inclusion, which is not as deep as it is elsewhere, particularly in the West. Key to bring about the processes of a liberalized economy, those processes that ensure that the entrepreneurs should be able to walk their dreams and implement their dreams in the form of businesses, and of course to work hard to ensure that those businesses survive. And as they survive, they provide a deepening of the market for the cross-border banking and other banks. and indeed provide stability for the growth of the economy. As Governor Mtebiri has indicated, therefore, the regulations are put together to make sure that there is that environment of stability to ensure that the investors, at the end of the day, benefit from their investments. And of course, Mr. Diamond mentioned that they have invested in ABC Bank, and ABC Bank is also in Zambia. So among the 5 irrigators, we were involved. And we had to be innovative, not necessarily to follow what we do in licensing other banks, where we try to find and look behind and look at the promoters and find out their track records and so on, how long they have been in business. And we found that Mr. Diamond's business model was not falling into that category. But we were very happy to deal with his business model, and we're happy to license the bank, and we believe the bank is going to grow bigger and be able to benefit our economy. So maybe let me stop at that, other than perhaps continue to recite the benefits of cross-border banking that Governor Mtebiri has already ably articulated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gondwe. You realize that Africa is ready for business. Africa is rising. I have said that we should be risen. We should get to the end very quickly. But Africa is really ready for business. And as Dr. Gondwe says, cross-border banking is extremely important. It's useful. Especially, it will work to get the private sector growing. And the private sector is the engine of growth. However, he also hammers stability, the fact that there should be proper regulation for confidence building because of what banks basically do. They are deposit takers.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.